We're going to 5 destinations and we are live. Welcome anybody that's watching us. We're only a couple of minutes late, not even a minute late tonight. Look at that, eh? Bang on time, yeah? Welcome to Puppy, Power Unified Paranormal Investigators, and our regular Paranormal Monday Live, which is a paranormal chat show with a difference. One we completely relaxed, completely open, and paranormal is absolutely anything, whether it be a UFO, whether it be a ghost, whether it be a Bigfoot, whether it be a cryptid or any kind whatsoever. We're happy to discuss it here. We have certain experts in different fields. Myself, the co-host, it's Paul Howard from Host for Ghosts up the top there, waving now. Great stuff. We're joined from the USA straight away. Look at that. Prospecting USA. Superb. Thanks for joining us so much. Thank you so much. We've got 5 on live already. Welcome everybody. Please, hope you enjoy the show so much. If you do have any suggestions, put them down in the comment section, either now or after we've finished. If you want to come on the show and you want to have a seat and you wanted to explain to us about your paranormal experience, whether it be again cryptid, but honestly, anybody that's watching us is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
Could I just ask,
Yep.
could you put the name, as in the actual name of the person
in the comments
in USA, just so then I know it is, because if you wanted to kind of pop on, you are more than welcome, because I think I know this is
more than welcome. Now that's our intro. We're normally about an hour, running up to 3 hours. So we do
running up to a week.
Yeah. What was I going to start off with?
I don't know. Happy New Year, wasn't it? Wendell Mosley. Welcome, Wendell. Welcome to Monday Night Live.
Thanks for participating as well. Sort of putting a comment in and so forth. If there's any improvements, we're completely open to any suggestion. We don't belittle anybody. We won't tolerate anything like that. Everybody's equal on here. Myself and Paul started obviously off the lives 12 months ago now. 12 months ago. And we started it off basically on our own, mate, didn't we? And,
we did, we did very much.
And since then, it's just grown and grown and grown. And till today, like last week, we had 20 people trying to join us. And I'm sorry to anybody. I'm sorry to anybody that basically didn't manage to get on last week that did try to get on. I've only got 10 seats on here, same as Daniel's platform on StreamYard. We only have 10 seats each. Therefore, if we've got 10 people on, including myself, we're full. And StreamYard just wants me upgrade to the £50 a month package than what I'm on now. And £50 a month is a little bit excessive for a non-profit making hobby like we have.
Yeah.
Tonight, what was it I was going to start off with? Let's just do it. Oh, that was it. We're on about the Waverley Abbey.
Yeah.
Hi, Julia. I did send you through a link.
Hi, Simon. Welcome.
I did send you through a link, so you should be able to join us on here, if you wish. I sent Dora one, and I sent Luke one. He's here, of course. I didn't notice. He's so quiet. You never know he was there.
He's in the dark, isn't he? Look. He's like a mushroom, isn't he? Kept in the dark of bed on.
Waverley Abbey. Anyway, this morning. Yes, I did send it to you. I'll send it again. It's yes. No, you haven't seen it yet. 21 minutes ago. I'm going to send it again now, and it should go ping. There you go. Now, Waverley Abbey. We've been doing Waverley Abbey for a long, long time. Now, something really interesting happened a couple of weeks ago to us. But myself and Daniel were on the chat this morning having a private meeting, and we found a light which we're really interested in. It could just be a light anomaly from a camera, a flare, or something up the road. It could be any of those things. However, Paul has just reminded me, and the reason being, I don't. This house is actually demolished now. I never condoned doing it in the first place. I never did do it, and I never do places like this. I've done thousands of locations, but I don't tend to do graveyards or murder houses as such. And this was known locally as the murder house, and it's quite recent. If you Google what is it, Capel Cottage Stud, I think it was.
Yeah.
Puppy Farm. I think
John Lowe.
Puppy Farm.
The what, mate?
It's a puppy farm, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a puppy farm, and John Lowe was the guy that murdered his family, his wife, and his stepdaughter in cold blood. And you can actually see the police footage. Have you seen that, Paul? When he was, Julia, good to see you.
Simon.
And you could actually see the police footage when he got arrested and he was being checked in. And talk about cold-blooded. Or he wanted to make sure his dogs were fed. And he turned around and said his wife deserved it. It was a long time coming. And the other dogs weren't wanted. He basically walked in, picked up a 12-gauge shotgun, loaded it, went into the old barn, blew a couple of dogs to pieces, then went in, blew his missus to pieces. His stepdaughter ran out, dialed 999, and she said, "Oh, I've got to go back." Blah blah blah, and he blew her away as well. Now, the freakiest thing about this is, before anybody investigated it, I heard the 999 calls in my head. I don't know how, but after the event happened, I haven't told anybody this one, but I could hear the girl on the phone talking to the police, and the police woman saying, "Do not go back to the house." And she's like, I've got to. It was almost like a destiny thing. It's really weird. Anyway, it suddenly alerted so many paranormal groups in the area. If you can't really call them that, they love this murder and sacrifice thing. I just don't get it. And they were breaking into the house, and the house was trashed as normal, and the blood stains on the walls and whatever. Where a woman's been murdered, it just doesn't seem right to me on that freshness. Now, Paul just pointed out to me the light is coming from that sort of area of Keeper's Cottage Stud. That's it.
Keeper's Cottage, yeah.
I don't know if you know that one, Julia.
No, I was just trying to think of it as you were saying it.
Right. Well, it was something Joe Richards had a bit of a fascination with, strangely enough, and we had a little bit of not a fallout, but a disagreement as to me not wanting to go and take a group up there for her. And I said I just didn't want to do it. I said it's not the right thing to do. If you
out near Guildford Way?
No,
it's up the road from the Abbey.
If you turn right out away from the Abbey, go across
up there on the left.
About quarter of a mile on the left.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, it's been demolished now. It's been demolished now. Keeper's Cottage Stud. But it's one of those places where it doesn't really. It's not. I mean, I've been around Edinburgh and things like that, the graveyard and whatever. Obviously, Borley Church and so forth. Yeah, but you don't really. I mean, I'd love to do Highgate Cemetery. I'd love to do it.
Me too.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Honestly, that has been. I've got a friend in North London, my friend Mickey, and he always said to me, "Oh, let's go, let's do Northgate," and I was like, I would love to do Northgate. It's North London. I would love to do Northgate.
Let's do it. Let's all get together one day in the spring or something, and just go up there.
Oh,
I have heard. Yeah, I mean, I'm in. Paul, you'll be in. Yeah. Highgate Cemetery. Luke.
But they only open it to the public twice a year, don't they?
No, I think it's open during the day.
you have to pay to have a guided tour.
Yeah.
And there's 2 tours. I think one's like north and south, and the other one's east and west or something. There's 2 parts of cemetery, and you have to pay depending on which part you want to do. So they do guided tours, so you have to sort of like book in on one of their guided tours. But yeah, 100%, I'm there. It's been on my hit list for years, donkey's years. So
Right, let's
I'm
do it.
definitely
No,
100% there.
let's sort it so we can all meet up somewhere and maybe take us to the finals rest of the way, yeah? Or going in one car or whatever. We'll sort it out closer to the time. But somewhere I wanted to go. But
And
that's
also, have you ever thought about...
Ian thought, okay, Ian, he went to high. Did you have anything happen?
Ooh.
Any activity? Or I love it. I love it.
I was going to say you've got to climb over to get in there because that's quite secure, isn't it?
We've got
That
we've
cemetery.
got a tour guide here, guys. Yeah.
Well, that's handy to
Is
know
that-
anyway, isn't it?
Is that not where Stalin's buried? Is it Stalin? George Michael, all of them sort of
Marx.
people, isn't it?
It's Mark.
Marx, Karl Marx, that's it, yeah.
Oh, Mark.
George Michael's there as well, isn't he?
Is it?
Yes, he's there.
Yeah, he's there in
With
spirit
Stalin.
anyway.
That was a careless whisper. That was.
Yeah. He's there in spirit, though.
Have you ever thought also about Northwood catacombs? They're sort of like South London.
Right. Okay.
Northwood. That's out towards Harrow, isn't it? Northwood.
Yeah, yeah. There's some
Northwood in the
catacombs
south.
there. South London.
Okay.
I think Northwood's out towards Harrow, isn't it? Greenford, that way out.
Yeah, my geography's quite rubbish. So
Mhm. Yeah. It's that area, I'm sure, Northwood.
yeah,
What is it? Northwoods.
catacombs.
Just having a quick butchers. The West Norwood catacombs.
West
I
Norwood,
think
yeah.
that's them. Yeah, yes.
West Norwood Cemetery and Catacombs. Kensal Green, 1827.
Kensal Green.
Yeah. The first half of the 19th century, there had been some burial grounds for non-conformists in the 17th century, with many established in the 18th century. The first London cemetery opened, Kensal Green. Cemetery was opened as South Metropolitan Cemetery Company, one of 8 private cemetery companies authorised by the Acts of Parliament to authorize overcrowding by establishing public burial sites around the capital. Oh. Okay.
Quite interesting. There's
Yeah,
also some catacombs in Paris, but Paris is like a little bit further afield, isn't it? But
Yeah,
so
there's
that's
one
another
big problem. There's a real big problem with Paris. There's a lot of French people there, and
Foreigners, a lot of foreigners there.
wow. I
No.
know. I can't afford to live anywhere, Ian.
That's also like Brookwood Cemetery, isn't it? Have you ever been there?
No.
no,
Is it-
that's
is it at the
quite
very
close by,
first-
isn't it?
The very first railway line out of London, when the plague was on and they'd run out of room to bury people, they created this train line out to Surrey, where they could say that they would take their loved ones out to Surrey and bury them in the Surrey grounds. But Brookwood and Woking were the very first crematorium to have during that time, and they used to put the bodies on the train in from London, and it had its own private railway line into Brookwood Cemetery. And they used to get them off there and take them into Woking, Crem and burn them because they'd run out of
I know
room.
that
Do you remember that?
around
Paul, do you?
Basingstoke.
Yeah, I was there. I was the train driver. Yeah,
You've got a good memory. Fair play.
I had hair then, B. That's why I remember it.
Bill's on. Bill, if you want to join us, mate, I can pop your link over. If you want to come and join us on the live chat, mate, you're more than welcome. Bill, you know Bill, don't you, Paul?
Yeah,
Luke.
yeah.
Yeah, Bill's over in the States, Julie. He's one of our guys over there. He's tracking down cryptids, Bigfoot now, but he's also a paranormal researcher. Quite a few years of experience over there. So it's good to get feedback from different areas of the globe.
Yeah,
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But
if you go to Brookwood, it's
okay,
divided.
mate, not a problem, mate. I'll see you soon on the podcast. Send me over some links, mate, to some of your podcasts, please. And because sometimes I'm sat up early hours of the morning or whatever, and I'd love to join you. If you ever need me on your podcast, we're all one anyway, mate. Now we've got the Worldwide Podcast Network. So Bill will be over, Paul, for the July one, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Had his dinner.
But if you go to Brookwood Cemetery, it's divided up by World War One, World War Two graveyard, and it's full of CCTV, and it's owned by the MOD.
It's so close, and yet I've never been. So close.
But it's well worth going because it's divided into World War Two veterans and World War One and so on and so on. But the train line is right at the very bottom. Not that you're ever allowed to get to the bottom of where it is, but that's what it was used for. It was the very first to bring bodies out of London, and then they would be burnt. If you look up Woking Crematorium, it's the first ever crematorium ever made.
Well, so, I don't know. I mean, Shane and Daniel, they're over that way, and so is V. I don't know. Have you ever been to Bath?
I have, yeah.
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 Right.
Bath.
Yeah.
I worked in Bath for a few months. Yeah, so I know it quite well.
And V's only just up the road from Bath anyway, so I'm sure V's been. But what I would highly recommend to you, and something we may do this year, if we're up that way, is one of the Bath ghost walks, because the one I went on last in Bath is probably finished now anyway. She was an elderly historian lady, quite theatrical, and very posh. But the reason I normally do the ghost walks in the cities I go to, like York and Bath as well, is because it teaches you a lot about the history of the area you wouldn't normally know in a very short time. Now, one thing that she taught me, which I've since taken people to, is the hospital. Yes. Also the Bath Abbey vaults as well. Amazing city. Really, what this gone Halloween? Yeah, that's superb. The superb thing about it, she took us to a road of the city hospital, a bridge of the city hospital. Now down this side, there's quite a drop. Superb, Ian. Did you get much there? And over this side is just like level ground. And the reason being, when people were dying of like smallpox or cholera or whatever, they just chucked the dead bodies out of the window because there was this huge drop, like 50, 60 foot down. And now it's completely level and it's full of bodies. Can you imagine the stink? But not only that, this bridge is supposed to be the bridge that breathes, It's supposed to have absorbed all of the spiritual energy, and certain people can actually feel the pulse of the bridge. Anyway, everybody's standing there going, yeah, what a load of rubbish. And she said, I can feel it. Why don't you try it? And some people went, oh, no, I'm not trying it. It's like, well, don't poo-poo it if you're not trying it, innit? So I said, I'll have a go. And I put my hand on the back of it. And instantly I felt the pulse coming through, like somebody's pulse. At the time, my girlfriend then, she put a hand on the back. To start with, she couldn't feel anything. Then she went, my God, something just touched me. And a few people then, because of sheep syndrome, took on to doing what we did. And some couldn't feel anything. Some went, oh, it's cold, that's it. But most people could actually feel this wall having a pulse. Well, something led after that was that people tried to get a pulse from all the other walls that they passed. Oh, look, here's another bridge, here's another wall. Oh, look, Pizza Hut will try that. Yeah, the pub will try that. Hi, Harry. Good to see you, mate. Harlem's on. Good to see you, mate.
Hi,
we've got
welcome along.
more. You'll meet Harry as well, Paul. So at the what's it?
Hi.
And they couldn't get anything. The woman turned around. She went, "You know what? That happens on every ghost walk I do." She said, "Because people think, oh, there's a trick. It's a pulse in your hand you're feeling, or something like that." She said, "So they go trying all the walls and things like that." And the you've got the circle there as well. You remember in Oliver where they were singing "Who Will Buy My Beautiful" on the crescent? Well, that's in Bath. Right? The Royal Crescent. And you've also got the Royal Circle, which is perfectly square for a circle. Yeah. And if you stand in the centre and you clap your hands, or you shout as loud as you can, a group of you, you can hear it all around you, but none of the residents can hear it in the houses. You know, some Bath is there's no Wetherspoons on it. It's McDonald's come from Bath. My God, I can't go back there now. And Julia will never make it. You'll never make it, Julia. No, I can't see it. Shane just died. Why, Shane?
I've just dropped. I don't know what.
Oh no,
that's not-
You know, he can't believe there's
That's
no
me.
donuts there.
that was a ghost.
Yeah, ghost of McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was planning. He just booked his trip to Bath, and he found out there wasn't a McDonald's there or a Wetherspoons. My God!
No, he probably went, "Oh my God, how much?" I think I'd have dropped my phone at that price.
Meal £4.70 bloody 9, and I don't even eat chicken.
I don't eat junk food.
You know why I don't eat chicken though, don't you?
Foul.
Yeah, it's
Go
foul.
on, Foul, yeah. There's always one in there. There's always one. Julia, don't encourage him, please.
I know.
He doesn't need any encouraging.
He doesn't.
Yeah. And V, we're going to talk to Chris and whatever over the next few weeks, myself and Daniel, about getting this keyboard up to you at some point, mate. So you should finally have one. Yeah, you should. Angela picked up a keyboard. V's been looking for how many years for one, V?
About 15 years.
About 15 years, V's been looking for a certain keyboard of a certain number so he can get the MIDI function working and get the notes off it. And he messaged me, he went, "Oh, do you reckon you could do me a favour, mate?" And I went, "What's that?" And he went, "Oh, this keyboard, I've been looking for..." And he went, "You do live in Portsmouth, don't you?" Well, that's very true. I've never tried. I mean, are you speaking from experience? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, let's just say for a minute, I'm having chicken salad for dinner, and you said about I know, but don't, but don't.
Yeah.
Daniel, I'd go and have your chicken salad before you can get a word in.
It's right here.
Come on, spit it out, mate. Come on. You can't
spit them feathers out.
Is that you?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Who's Facebook user? Tell us your name, Facebook user.
It's probably Gemma.
Yeah.
And so I'm completely thrown off of what I was talking about then. Anyway, but it wasn't going down the good path anyway.
You were talking about showers. Oh no, baths, wasn't it? I thought it was just showers.
He was talking about the keyboard at PSR.
Oh, that's right.
Graham.
Hi, Graham. Good evening. Welcome.
Graham, I'm not going to ask why you tried to swallow chicken feathers, but there you go, mate.
Darren, also, you know the part when I said don't say anything about a conference, and you just said something.
No.
Yeah.
Do you mean that bit about?
Yeah, something that you shouldn't say.
No.
Anyway, move on.
I'm lost. I'm like, what about the keyboard or what?
The conference when you
The talker.
when Harlem came on and Bill came on and you said to Paul, "Oh, they'll be at something," and I said, "Don't say anything."
He didn't.
Oh.
I didn't hear anything.
It's a secret.
Oh, look.
Hey, mate.
Hi, Luke.
Hi, Luke.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken. Is that finger licking good?
No. It's
Oh.
That's a, oh my god! Is that a roadkill? Is that roadkill? I think you've run that over.
That's it.
You reversed over that, got the first one, and then backed over the second one.
100%, mate. 100%.
Good boy. That's what we like to see. It's called recycling, isn't it?
That's it.
I'm going to hand over to Paul now because he's got some interesting tales to tell about another sighting, I think, as well, isn't it, Paul, about a ghost ship?
Yes.
I don't believe we've actually spoken to. Oh, Scott's on. Everybody
Hi,
say
Scott.
good evening, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
He's down in the
Welcome along.
Yeah, good to see you again, mate. You must get on about your dolls sometime.
Yes, we're interested. Interested in that.
Yeah, Scott's on. He's got some real haunted dolls that he looks after, and you must get down there. You've been there long enough now, Scott. You can have your studio sorted out, mate. Come on, get talking about them dolls, mate. We need you.
Yeah.
Good to see you, mate. Nice to have you.
Thank you so much. Interested in that.
Yes. So anyway, I'm going to hand over to Paul, and he's going to do his little bit about the, or whatever it takes about the ghost ships, Paul.
Yeah. I was just watching the other day on the TV, and they were talking about salvaging, about when they salvage boats. So whoever gets to the boat first, boat, ship, whatever, gets the rights to salvage the boat. So whatever's in the boat or whatever, by maritime law, they get the right to salvage the boat. This crew had gone out to a cruise liner that was sitting out just off the coast. Who is that bloke there? Oh, it's Darren.
Ah, me. I'm trying to get you on, mate, but
I thought it was an alien.
It's just not. Oh, hang about. Is that you? Oh,
no. Oh my God, who's that?
Hey.
I look like Grant Mitchell. I look like Phil Mitchell. What, Peggy?
Then you want on Crime Watch, mate.
Where's Grant? Get out more pub. I look like. Anyway, so they went to salvage this cruise liner that had been decommissioned. So they were salvaging it out of a harbour. They with a tug. So they tied it all up, dragged it out. This is only last year sometime, I think it was. So they were pulling it out towards the sea to salvage it. So they would then climb aboard and start their salvage from inside out. And as they were pulling it out, about 3 miles out into the sea, the tug broke the ropes that were towing the ship. So they had no more ropes. So the ship was then just left. So they knew it wouldn't go anywhere. So they turned round back into shore and picked up new towing ropes. The time they'd gone back to the ship, it had disappeared, just literally gone. So they were searching the area for days and days and days and could not find the ship anywhere. So eventually, I think they said about 6 months later, they'd given up looking because it had literally just disappeared. When the Coast Guard were flying in a routine flight over, and they saw this ship afloat, just wandering along, and they obviously radioed it in. So the tugs then left. There was 2 or 3 tugs then left from different ports because the first one that gets there has the salvage rights on it, even though the first people had it, but they'd lost the salvage because the ropes had broke. So all these 3 tugs have got to this specific point where the Coast Guard had seen it, and it had gone again. It had disappeared. They couldn't find it. So it's about, I think he said it's around about a year it hadn't been seen, this boat. It's not run aground. It's not, nobody's seen it on the shipping. They've asked all the ships to keep an eye out. And then about a month or 2 months ago, it suddenly reappeared in the middle of the Atlantic on its own. And yet they can't understand why it's not run aground and why people can't get to it, because apparently when they give the coordinates, when they go there, it's gone. And they're saying it's become like a modern day ghost ship, but it's a cruise liner that's decommissioned. And even the Coast Guard have been looking for it because they've had sightings of it from different boats. And yet when they've gone out, it's gone. It's just disappeared. And yet some boats have seen it and some haven't. And they're saying it could be a modern day ghost ship because they, there is ships out there that have disappeared, like the Mare Celeste and things like that, and they reappear and then disappear. So I looked it up to see if it was near the Bermuda Triangle, around that area.
It sounds like that.
Yeah, but it's not. It's off the coast of where did they say? Chile or somewhere down there. It was the last sighting, but it's floated that far, thousands of miles, without hitting anything or running aground, and they really don't know why. They know nobody's on board because
how old the ship is.
It is 20 years old. I think it was a decommissioned cruise liner.
Oh, okay.
And it had run its time. Apparently, they run their time over years, how many times or how many millions of miles they run, and then they decommission them. And whoever gets to the ship first claims the salvage rights, whatever's in it, and the whole ship when they break it down. But they say that, all it was done was being towed out, ready to be salvaged, basically, and it broke its ropes. And the time they'd gone back to shore and come back, it disappeared, and they still can't find it. They're still looking for it. It appears and then disappears.
What's the ship called?
I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry, but SS. It might come to me.
It's probably that one I went on last September.
With all them spirits. But I thought it was really interesting. And then if you look about, ships and things like that, then that takes you back to, like we were explaining a long time ago about the Philadelphia experiment, where they moved the ship in the water, and, they never really gave the full truth on that. And that sort of takes you into the realm that how can a ship stay afloat that long, not run aground, when a lot of times ships do run aground, don't they? Even with a crew on it. So how can this ship be floating around and not run aground?
If it had been stripped and stuff, if it hadn't been stripped, sorry, then surely it should still have all the tracking radars and everything.
So everything's decommissioned. Everything's decommissioned on it. Yeah.
Right.
They were towing it out to a point in the sea where they would start their salvage and they could sink it.
Oh, right.
So that it would become like a reef, where they sink the ships and they use them for maritime stuff, don't they? Divers and reefs and fishies, and they often sink them, don't they, and use them. But they were due to start from the inside and work out and take out everything that was salvageable at that time, so they could use it. But obviously it snapped the ropes, and they don't know why the ropes snapped, because obviously there's a telly going in the background.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that'd be mine. Sorry.
All right. And then, they can't understand why the ropes snapped when they're proper tow ropes, and they've never had an issue with the ropes before.
Sorry, Paul, I can afford a TV. Wow. Getting good in gospel.
It's paying him too much, all them roadkills.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
You got electric down there.
Only just, mate. I've got the hamster wheel in the pedal at the back.
Do everybody know about the Philadelphia experiment? Me and Darren spoke about this for a long time, haven't we, Darren? Does everybody know what that was?
No.
Go over it again.
The Philadelphia experiment. Do anybody know what it is?
Have you heard of it?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I feel you didn't hear about the Philadelphia experiment, mate.
No, I know all about it, and even
You know,
Townsend
I would
Brown and all
imagine
that
you do.
stuff. Yeah.
If you hadn't, if V hadn't have heard about the Philadelphia experiment, I'd be like, where was he going?
Be a bit scary, wouldn't it? Really. Basically, it was a ship the Americans were trying to send through time, because their idea was to, put a battleship, time move it into Germany, do damage, and bring it back again. But all the experiment didn't really go as planned as it should have done. And I think it was USS. Can't think of the name of it. Eldridge. That's right. Yeah, and they tried to put it through time, but they got it to disappear, even though the displacement in the water was still there.
Well, the intention was more to make it invisible.
Yeah.
But the time thing was something that they didn't anticipate.
And it disappeared, didn't it? But it still left the displacement in the water, and then reappeared in a harbour somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they really had sent it through time, but didn't know where. They had no control over where it had gone, other than it suddenly reappeared somewhere completely different, where everybody's saying, well, hang on a minute, that wasn't there a minute ago when I think it was a ferry crossing the river, bumped into it, because it wasn't there when he'd left the station. So it's quite a famous experiment during World War II, where they were trying to...
The people that survived, they just banged straight up. What the book doesn't tell you about, or any of the books, they've actually tried to make it into a love story, the same as they made the Essex Boys into a love story and things like that, because it takes you away from the real truth of it. What the hell did they do with it? Now, many years ago, I managed to get hold of some papers. Believe me, I've lost personal photo albums through moving around the UK so much. So anybody that says, oh, why didn't you hang on to them? Well, I couldn't, simple as. But they were basically classified and declassified papers that should have been shredded. And I managed to get copies of them. And when the ship came back, it actually vanished twice. When it came back the second time, there was navalmen melted into the fuselage of the ship. They were still alive, but they were actually melted into the turrets and the chimneys and so forth. They were jumping off the side of the ship and vanishing. And then some would and some wouldn't reappear. Now, the ones that did survive, they locked them up and they interrogated them. And they proclaimed them all as insane. There was 3 specific sailors which they couldn't keep in prison. They locked them up in the cells, basically, and they'd be there for weeks on end. And then all of a sudden, they just get up and walk straight through the wall, like it wasn't even there. And even these naval sailors didn't know how they were doing it or what made them do it. I don't actually know what happened to them in the end, but they weren't let back out on the streets, let's put it that way. But some of the sailors that were melted into doorways and things like that, they took the doors off and they kept them alive for as long as they could, to try and figure out what had happened. They have since tinkered around with these experiments. It all came from basically the Montauk experiment and so forth, which was another step down, into depravity, basically, But what's Daniel laughing at?
Well, I'm laughing at Luke's comment in the private chat.
Oh right, I can't see that.
Oh.
I do apologise. I'm in my bedroom and somebody thinks it's quite funny to wave my light about.
Wave your light?
Yes. Yes.
You don't think it's funny it being red?
As long as it's not waving something else.
No, we leave that to you, Luke. Anyway.
Thanks.
Yes, there is a couple of films about it.
That's
Scott.
right. There is. Yeah.
But they try to dramatise it as a love story again. It's strange how all these things they happened, but they try to take it away. A bit like Rendlesham, you know. The Rendlesham forest incident is. I mean, I've been at the site of the landings, and I'm telling you, there is a very strange feeling to this day with the EMF meters going off at the landing sites in Rendlesham Forest. The pub that all the RAF crew used to drink at has been changed names, and the prices have been put up so high that it's detrimental to the normal person going in there. So this is how they do it, and the Forestry Commission has put the landing sites in different areas to what they actually really were. What's the point in doing that? What's the point in it? Unless they're trying to take you off the scent, and that's all they're trying to do. But no, the documents I saw on when that Philadelphia experiment had been done were they actually had two huge generators on there, and it was kind of one would work against the other. Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Sorry I'm late.
Hi, John.
Oh, hi, V. I didn't see you there. You were hiding.
Yeah, well, he hides in the dark, John. You know, he's more like a cryptid every week. He's old V. Huh?
The lurker in the darkness.
You can hear by that laugh, can't you? You see, he's like that was a very sinister laugh, V.
I could do better. I could do better. Like, moo ha 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 ha.
That's just plain bloody freaky.
That is not right.
We've got people leaving us because of that now. Look.
Scared them
off. But no, they did make a film, but it wasn't the normal. Well, it was the normal. Yeah. That's Daniel. He said he's just disappearing for 2 minutes. Right, timing, guys. Right, and when he comes back, 30 seconds late. Let's just, for the hell of it, say you're 30 seconds late. Yeah. So Daniel, you said 2 minutes, and you were gone 2.5. What's going on? Yeah. And like, all be serious, right? That'll really do his head in. It really will do it.
You know, the thing is, he's probably got this on live as well on another phone next to him.
Do you know what he has? He's got 3 screens, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, his dad's built in that sort of thing.
I think you're just giving the game away there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a shame. What a shame.
We'll still do it anyway.
No, he's probably out. He's probably gone to the toilet or whatever. That's where he's gone.
He's got to get his chicken salad, I expect.
Yeah. Tell him 2035.
Where the hell did you get chicken salad from?
Oh,
From a chicken.
He announced it half an hour ago that he's having chicken salad. Actually, do you know there's a link between the Philadelphia experiment and this weird Canadian guy called John Hutchinson?
Okay, I didn't know that one.
If you go on YouTube and you look up the Hutchinson experiments, you can see some video of this really quite amazing Canadian guy. And what he's done is he's bought up old military equipment like radar equipment and radio equipment and all sorts of stuff, and he's been doing experiments, and he's been shut down by the Canadian police about 4 or 5 times, with the national government getting involved, because he's producing some sort of frequencies which can move into other people's spaces, like the flat next door, and cause things to levitate a bit, like a sort of ghostly situation. And it just freaks all of his neighbors out. And one of the effects that he's got from this is that things melt together, which is reminiscent. Could somebody turn that television down, because I can't think straight when thank you. there's actual film of a metal fork, and a piece of wood, and they become embedded together at the molecular level. And this is reminiscent of what you were talking about in the Philadelphia experiment, the man melting into the deck. And I would say that he's producing the same frequencies, but he doesn't. He's not sure which frequencies they are or how to focus them. But there's actual footage of a cannonball just levitating. So if you go on YouTube and look up John Hutchinson and the Hutchinson effect, you'll
I've
see
seen
some
that.
really interesting stuff. Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you can, send us a link for you, will you? Because that'd be interesting for all of us.
But I don't know why Daniel's piping up. He was 30 seconds late.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes. Yeah, he's gone over to 2 minutes. Daniel, that was 30 seconds. 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
I will say, if you want the absolute truth,
No.
I've just had a confirmation of another American guest, Darren, for the event. I just needed to kind of.
You said
okay, yeah.
Events.
Oh, it's gone. It's out there.
Who is it? Ruby Wax? Is it Ruby Wax?
No. He's going to go on at me now tomorrow. He's going to go, why did you mention?
I will. Okay, something that is going to be announced next week now. Is another guest from America will be kind of joining us.
Brilliant.
Now. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brought our tally up to 8, Darren. That's incredible.
That's brilliant, mate. That's brilliant.
It's Donald Trump, isn't it?
Yeah. It should be a good weekend again. It should be a weekend.
Oh yeah, it should be.
If I can make it, I will make it. I promise you that.
You can imagine Donald Trump and Darren. That'll be it, wouldn't it? They'll just be. We might as well give up, don't we? Vote for Darren. Vote for Trump. Or is that Darren Trump?
I mean, at least Darren's got a believable toupee.
Darren Trump.
Shit. Sorry.
I didn't think you could hear.
Darren Trumps.
I tell you what I do. I get some of my hair and I put it over Darren's head.
Like a comb over.
It looked just like him, wouldn't it? Well done, Julia. Very good.
We'll try that next time.
We could do, yeah.
We'll have to sit down though.
Might cover this up, mightn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Darren Trump.
You'll have to print some 8x10s, Darren, and then practice his autograph. Come on.
Yeah.
Autograph. Mate, I'm selling my autograph for charity.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What charity is that? For the blind?
No. No, it's so I can afford some hair.
I'll give you some of mine.
I want to look like Donald Trump.
It's the right colour. It's the right colour. So we just
Donald Trump's.
lean it over.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump's.
Well, what it is, right? I'm trying to set up a charity that supplies corks to people.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Called corks to fat bastards like me. No? You put them in the house and you lose weight.
Yeah, Darren, you're right and right. Yeah, you're right with both of them. We did it earlier. We can do it again now.
Yeah, that is a corker. That one.
Oh dear.
Everyone's a winner. It's a cracker.
Yeah. Going back to the ship thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was about 2 minutes 35 seconds you were gone, Daniel.
Yeah. 32
but
minutes 36 actually.
I mean, it doesn't matter, mate. It doesn't matter.
Or do they?
Jonathan doesn't believe you got. Jonathan doesn't believe you got a chicken salad.
Who thinks he was longer than what he said he was going to be?
I was 5 minutes. I'm telling you, I was longer than I said. I was 5.
There you go.
I was 5 minutes.
You know,
But the
if you're
point
going to
is,
do
you
these
put
podcasts,
just
Daniel,
disappearing for
you
2
need
minutes.
to learn about timing.
Yeah.
You're not a time
Yeah.
traveller.
How dare you? How
You're not a
dare you
time
say
traveller,
that,
are you?
Darren?
Greta Thunberg moment again. Listen, how dare you? Oh!
He raised his voice, didn't he? He's a time traveller, isn't he?
Yeah. I reckon.
Me and you need words after Paul.
Yeah,
I think Daniel's got a
I only
secret
know a
crush
few.
on Greta Thunberg.
I know a
He
few
wants to
bad
go
words.
swimming. Yeah? You can see them sat there, can't you? Who's turning the generator on next?
All in the dark,
Move on,
aren't they?
Darren.
It's quite weary, isn't it?
Actually,
Mate.
she's at school as well.
Maybe we should have a whip round for the electric bills for these other
Yeah.
4 people in here. Look, they're all in the dark. They all run out of electric.
I can't afford to have the living room light on as well.
Although, Paul, Darren did show me his disco earlier.
Oh, he did he?
He did show me that earlier. We've been on the phone twice, and probably for the number, probably 3 hours, I would say, Paul. So I've had a lot of Darren today.
Did you get a word in that 3 hours? If Darren shows his disco, that's normally you've got to be someone special.
But I mean, all in the same sentence, you've said Darren showed me his disco, and I've had a lot of Darren today.
Yeah. You might want to rephrase that.
Yeah.
Didn't come over too well, that one. It doesn't paint a good light, that one.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Hang about. I'm getting cold. I've just got to turn the heating back on. There you go.
Anyway, where were we?
Chicken salad, I think.
Chicken. Oh yeah, Jonathan said he didn't believe you had chicken salad. Nobody has chicken salad.
Not in January, anyway.
No,
like having ice cream in January. Oh, let's go for an ice cream. Really?
Nice casserole or something, you know.
I've got a tuna salad.
Tuna?
Yeah.
Did he come and do your piano? And then you've eaten.
Must be warm in your house.
Jonathan's eating the piano tuna.
It must be warm in your houses with all this salad going on.
I'll tell you what.
We're having stew.
My body thinks you're all getting healthy, and it thinks I might eat salad as well.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be doing that. That's too healthy.
Try to make up for all the carbs.
Last time I started eating salad, the rabbit died. Anyway.
Anything green's too healthy. You know? Who wants to eat a broccoli? A broccoli's a small tree. Who wants to eat that? You don't eat small trees.
I love trees.
Funnily enough, Paul, that was in my chicken salad.
Why would you eat a tree? It should be in the garden, not in your plate.
Why would you broccoli with a chicken salad anyway? Surely, if you're going traditional, it's lettuce.
Well, it was kind of.
Was it chicken stew?
No, it was kind of half roast dinner, half chicken salad. It was just something.
How can you have half roast dinner, half salad?
Because you can.
You either have one or you have the other.
Yeah.
You have mayonnaise on it as well.
He had a starter and a main together.
That's like having orange and milk in it together.
Oh no! Oh no! Don't! Oh, honestly, don't. I hate milk.
Yeah.
Right, what are we talking about? Ghosts, are we?
Hey?
What are we talking about? Ghost ships?
Yeah, I know. It's gone right off topic tonight, hasn't it?
Chicken salads.
Chicken salad and goat
And
chips.
milk, wasn't it? With milk poured over the top.
All these ghost ships and things like that seen around the globe. One thing that I always find interesting is obviously the Bermuda Triangle, because there's loads and loads and loads of theories about the Bermuda Triangle being magnetized and so forth. And they found these planes, and that was the planes that went missing. Then all of a sudden, they find it wasn't them planes, and they haven't got a clue where these planes come from. Now, an interesting thing on the Bermuda Triangle is the amount of ships that have gone missing through there. They're all below a certain threshold of size and weight, for starters. But they're seen all over the globe afterwards, you know. Now, all right, you can probably go 50-50 on the sightings. You know, 50% of people are either drunk or they're glory hunters and they're looking for, oh, yeah, we'll say we saw a ghost ship, yeah? But what you've got to think to yourself then is, these people that say, oh, we saw a ghost ship, if they were really going to be big glory hunters, would they not say, oh, yeah, we boarded it, we went all around it, we heard some strange noises, we jumped off the side, it was really dramatic, instead of saying, well, we just sat on our ship and we saw it go past? You know? I think the former is the one. They'd say, well, we went on board and whatever, yeah, if they were looking for glory hunting. So one thing that really strikes funny is they all go vanishing as they cross the triangle, or all these ships are on about, yeah, and then they reappear at different areas of the globe. Are they in a different dimension for a bit, or what? You know?
I was just about to say, is it ley lines and portals and all that they go through?
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thing, Shane. Yeah, ley lines, is it? Because
Well, it's been proven the ley lines on the ocean floor. So I watched a documentary not that long ago about flight MH370, I think it is, which is a really famous flight that went missing.
Is that Malaysian? That's a Malaysian one. Yeah. Well, I think we watched that.
They're saying that the ley lines on the actual seabed itself are just so ridiculous that they truly can't understand what it causes. And it's like the magnetized weather there, the freak storms that they get is just, they come out of nowhere.
It's not only ships that disappear around the area. You know, there's planes that disappear, isn't there? Squadrons that have disappeared, supposedly. Right, yeah. I mean, you know, it's difficult to sort of track the story down, doesn't it? It's obviously something in that area, whether it's a portal or whether it's a time slip or something. How can they go there and then suddenly appear thousands of miles away, you know?
What is it, Daniel?
It's Darren.
What is it?
It's Darren.
Anything.
You have. Oh, God. Basically, I messaged him the same message. I'm just disappearing for 2 minutes. And he replied now. I just went, that was for earlier. And he just said, at least I seen it.
Oh dear, that's funny to do.
Horrible.
Lost.
Must be a private joke.
Before Daniel pulled us off topic again,
ley lines.
Timings, off topic, and mucking around on air. Anyway,
but then the ley lines are what spirit are supposedly used to move around anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, there's an energy, there's a frequency and energy or something and maybe portholes open up across some ley lines.
But it makes you wonder if the ley lines cross each other, whether that becomes then a portal or some sort of, I don't know, time travel between it. You know, I have a fascinating story about a friend of mine, you know, that something happened to him, you know, similar to sort of that sort of thing. And it's sort of mind-blowing, really, when you consider, you know, what happened to him.
It's bound to affect it. I mean, crossovers with energies and frequencies. Do you know what I mean? So there's got to be some sort of energy and like compass confusion, something that's scattered.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It makes you wonder what sort of frequency it emits.
Yeah,
at that specific time that they actually cross.
We get that here as well, though. We get that off the coast of Yorkshire. There's
Right.
lots of cases that Paul Sinclair's brought up about fishermen who've found themselves in a sort of a foggy mist suddenly, and their compass is just spinning like it's a motor or something, you know. And,
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Have they ever lost time, V?
Yes.
They've actually lost time.
Well, actually, they made time. There was one case I remember Paul talking about that some guys were going out of port at the same time as other guys, and or soon after the other guys had gone, they went out, and then they went into this fog, and then they found themselves on the fishing area that the other guys were heading to, who'd left before them, and somehow they'd gained an hour. That was a weird one.
amazing.
Had they gained an hour, or had the clock gone forward an hour?
I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it?
But they got there before the other boat, did they?
Yeah, they got there before the boat that left before them.
Yeah.
After going into a fog. And there was that other case as well. There was that guy, I can't remember his name. It was before the Royal Air Force was formed, and he flew down, I think it was from somewhere up near Scotland. He was flying down country, and he was looking at these places that would later become RAF stations, and he was looking at these guys in blue uniforms, and he couldn't understand it because he didn't understand, because that wasn't a thing at the time. And then later on, it turned out that he was looking at RAF stations that wouldn't actually come into existence for 5 or 6 years. You know.
Yeah.
So it just makes you wonder whether then, when their ley lines cross, whether they do actually cause a disturbance in the atmosphere or the surrounding area, doesn't it? That affects maybe, maybe
time and space.
Maybe we see ghosts because we're affected by the frequency of the ley line. What we perceive as ghosts, like you were saying, him seeing RAF stations that weren't really there until 6 or 7 years later on.
Yeah. Well, they were there. They were there as early airports, but they weren't actually RAF stations.
RAF, yeah.
It didn't exist yet.
So that would say that he came forward in time then, wouldn't it? Because if he saw them 6 years prior to them becoming RAF stations, obviously, then it means he travelled through time forward.
Yeah, and then when he landed, nobody believed him.
Well, you can imagine that, can't you?
Yeah.
Especially in them days. They wouldn't believe a lot of people, would they?
I find the disappearance and the time weirdness with aeroplanes more interesting than the ship things, because where you've got the ships sinking, that could be because you've got lots of gas suddenly being produced on the seabed.
Yes, I've heard this theory as well.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of methane on, and it's in a sort of frozen form, and every now and then it just gives off, and that lowers the specific gravity of the water that the ship's in, so it just sinks.
So it lessens the density of the water. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't happen with the airplanes.
No.
But then, with regards to what you're saying about the ships as well, some of the ships have not been kind of known to sink, but they've known to disappear, then reappear.
Yeah.
Which is obviously then as well why it makes it more mysterious and unexplainable.
Yeah.
So I completely get what you're saying, because I've looked into the Bermuda Triangle massively, and it is. I don't think anybody's ever going to be able to explain what's going on there.
It only seems to be at certain times, isn't it? It's not any time you go over there, everything disappears. It's only certain times, whether that's down to atmospheric pressures or atmospheric changes or whatever.
Yeah.
But people fly over it and through it and all sorts, and still come out the other side. So what changes in that area that can consume a boat or a plane and transport it, I don't know, 3,000 miles away? You know,
Well, an
That's
interesting
weird.
thing is,
mind
I saw
blowing, isn't it?
years ago when I was a kid, my dad took me to the cinema to see it, and it was a good hour and a half, hour and three-quarter film, and it was about the Bermuda Triangle. And he said, "Oh, you'll like this, Star." He says, "It's all about this place called the Bermuda Triangle." I went, "Oh, what's that, Dad?" He went, "You'll see." He says, "Ships disappear and whatever." And I can't remember the name of the film. I've never seen it again. I've only just seen it this once. But they were on about like the QE2 going across it and whatever. And they carried out experiments on the QE2. And this weird, when they hit a mist, and there was a certain area of the triangle, and they took photographs, video of the outside of the windows, and there was almost this like fungus on the outside of the windows, and it was all yellow and green, and then it was fluorescent as well. It was like it was glowing, and then all of a sudden it vanished. It just went, and then they took like 747s through. And I mean, it took them months and months and months to do it. But this crew just sat on these 747s, back to forwards, back to forwards, back to forwards. And one turned around and said, obviously they were that bored, you know, I mean, can you imagine sitting on a 747 just going back and forth from Miami all the time? That one of the crew shouted, "Hey, guys, look, it's happening." And they were also, they've obviously turned the cameras on in haste, and they've tried to be as professional as they can. And they've walked up, and the front near side windows were starting to get this same sort of like
glow,
misty sort of stuff on them. And the whole left side of the plane went into this sort of like where you couldn't see out the windows, whereas you could on the right. There was no mist on the right, but there was on the left. It was thick fog. And then like they were measuring it, and there was some electromagnetic frequencies were going through the roof on the left-hand side, where there's nothing on the right-hand side of the plane. Then it just cleared up after about 20 minutes when it left the triangle. And they couldn't explain it. They could not explain it. They did this experiment for about 3 years. You know, they were trying to replicate, because they said vessels like the QE2 just do not disappear. They're too big. And the methane gas thing was a theory then, but they said, okay, the methane gas could be a real thing. However, well, how can you account for these molecules or whatever appearing on the? But at the same time, the radars were just spinning and things like that. So, what the hell is it? What is it?
That thing about things glowing, aircraft in particular, starting to glow and get this unearthly glow, and seems to have this sort of white misty stuff that sticks to the aircraft. That's a common theme, and that's happened in various military scenarios as well, with flights around that part of America. And there's a thing called St. Elmo's fire.
That's right. Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be that. There seems to be some other sort of weird.
People refer to it as the light, don't they?
Is it? It's not like Dante's light thing. Something to do with the molecules around the plane, isn't it? It becomes glowing. The whole plane glows.
Yeah.
Is it Dante's? What do they call it? Something. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute.
Just something about then the triangle. There's been a lot of kind of triangles being related to kind of the Bigfoot kind of work, where I've done a bit of research on our area, and I'm not a big fan of history, but when I kind of connect up kind of like UFO sightings in the area, there's a triangle, and yes, Darren, I am looking into UFO sightings around the area. I made a kind of it is a triangle, and it connects up to one of the tree structures or possible tree structures in our forest, and it kind of goes a long way. And I then thought, right, let's now look into missing people. and there's been 2 missing persons in that right in the middle over the past 10 years or something. But it's just something that just kept popping up. It was like, I know these TV shows aren't 100% reliable, but it's like they keep popping up with this same thing. I'm going, is this a complete coincidence, or could this be something related to something possibly having something more than just a human life? If you
So
know
what
what I
you're
mean.
saying is that day we went in the forest and you went and picked them bones up, bagged them, took them home. They weren't, but they could have been human remains.
Oh. Shut up.
That's why
They
there's a
could-
spirit
Shut up.
standing behind you, isn't it? Can't you feel
Yeah.
his hands on your shoulder,
Have you seen that before
Daniel?
as well? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Here's one for you. Okay. You know when these jets and the fighter jets and all that see UFOs? Yeah.
No. No.
Right.
No.
Why, if the UFOs have technology to enter into our airspace, blah blah blah, why do they not bring the jets down?
Because they don't need
Well,
to.
Because their intention isn't to harm; it's to learn.
Or to
Well,
monitor.
apparently Kevlar technology is alien technology. We couldn't have discovered it on Earth alone without help. Now, there's an interesting, it was an a mature top American Air Force commander, defunct, and as normal, you've never heard of him since. And he was speaking at a proper conference. Now, this would have been around about 2007. And supposedly, there has been a mothership above the White House for a number of years. Now, when it first appeared, the Americans were, all right, mate, see you in the morning, all right? Now, when you get something that big, come up and go, all right, huh?
Yeah.
Bigfoot. It's a Bigfoot sighting.
No, yeah, the Americans responded by sending up 50 fighter jets to engage with this thing, and they found that when they got close to it, the planes disintegrated. And yes, Scott, this is a very interesting topic, isn't it? Very. Where you live now, you see some strange lights, and I'm going to bring some up on Waverley Abbey in a second as well. And also down in Wareham Forest. Now, anyway, they lost all bar 8 of these 50 fighters. So the Americans lost 42 jet fighters planes. And apparently the aliens responded to the White House and said, we're really, really sorry. We did not mean, we're sorry for your loss of life. We did not attack you or anything. When they fired at this thing, the weapons just got so far away and just vanished. There wasn't a bounce or anything like that. And they said, we didn't counterattack, we didn't fire one weapon. The fault was with our force field. The force field, which is required for us to do interstellar travel and so forth. Because apparently they can't, when they're traveling at their speed, whether this is true or not, this is not me, this is only what I've read or heard. They can't counter for every comet that may be in their way. Therefore, they have a field around them that will disintegrate anything on impact. Therefore, they don't damage their ship at the high speeds they're traveling. They said, however, that's what caused the problem. However, we have rectified the issue, and if you wish to send any planes up now, you won't lose it. We won't count come in peace and so forth. So the Americans responded by sending up another 30 planes, and they didn't lose one plane, but the pilots reported they were on the course for the target, and when they got so close away, the plane just started turning, and it went right round the object. And their weapon systems, they couldn't fire anything, they were jammed on all 30 planes. Now, this was quite a credible Air Force captain, defunct. You've not heard of him since. There was also some more credible, decorated officers there as well, which were questioning him. And of course, in a video, it was called from every, same as the leaked NATO video, soon get called. Now, you've got to think, when you look, there we go. Right. There you go. Now, this is another strange thing. Today, as well, to report a crime of any kind is near on impossible. You ring 101, after 20 minutes, they go, we're too busy, report it online. You go online, it's so many pages deep, you've got to type your own name in 101 times. Life's just too short. And you think, you know what, I can't be bothered. Now, that's for, maybe a stolen bike or something. If you're met with the severity of reporting just for some strange lights in the sky, you're probably not going to go very far at reporting it. Would you agree? You're going to get so fed up. You're going to go, oh, well, I saw them. Other people saw them.
Luke.
If they don't want to know, bugger them. Yeah. Who's that going, John?
No, I'm shooting off. Phones on 3%.
Oh, right. Okay.
Darren,
thanks for joining us, mate.
I'm going to shoot for about 5 minutes. Whether I'm back or not, I don't know. Is that all right?
Mate, no problems, mate. I know you've got a lot of things to do. Thanks for joining us, Daniel. Really is a pleasure, mate.
I may be back on. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, mate. Well, I'll be doing the live in a second anyway, but we'll be on for our normal 15, 20 minutes afterwards. But anyway.
All right, mate.
All right.
Bye, mate.
You know I am. Great kid. Yeah, it's true, Scott. It's true. You get so fed up of trying to report the crime. Now, in 2020, I took the boys down to Wareham Forest in the motorhome and the mountain bikes. If you don't know Wareham Forest, it's absolutely huge. You can get lost in there. It's as if there's no people in there at all. We saw huge snakes running around and adders and everything. It was fantastic. And anyway, we had 4 nights there. And on the 4th night, Angela came down and joined us. And the kids went to bed, and we got some deck chairs and a can of beer each, and we sat outside the motorhome. It was a still, mild August night. It was beautiful. And anyway, she looked, there's no street lamps. It's pitch black. And looking up at the sky, it's absolutely superb. Then all of a sudden, you saw one light come across in a dead straight line. It wasn't high up, but it wasn't low. But you would have heard it if it was a plane. It was that low enough to make a sound. It was silent, and the speed it was traveling as well. Followed by another one, followed by another one, followed by another one, on exactly the same trajectory. No difference. And then they started crisscrossing each other. And then they came back again. And then there was formations of them. So, if it was a satellite, for one, satellites glisten, yeah? It looks like they're on fire because of the metallic substance they're made out of, so they glisten. But these didn't glisten. They were just white lights, like we saw the other night at Waverley Abbey on the 27th.
Yes.
Yeah? You remember that, Julia? When they were coming across?
I know. It was very strange.
Yeah. Now, on the way into Waverley Abbey, I was at the back of the group, and a couple at the front went, "Oh, what's them lights over there?" And remember, I looked across and I went, "They're not moving." And I forget who's, I think it was Nigel turned around and went, "Oh no, it's all right. They're flashing. It's a plane." Yeah. And I turned around and I said, "For God's sake," I said, "just because it's got a flashy light on means it can't be a UFO." Well, them lights sat there and they were stationary for about a minute and a half. They did not move. And then all of a sudden they took off. Boom, gone.
Yeah.
Quicker than any plane, weren't they? Yeah.
I said, could it have been a helicopter? Because it was sort of stationary in the air, but it was quite hard to explain really what it was.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was really windy up there, wasn't it? There was over 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Very, very windy up there that night. Very windy.
Helicopter wouldn't even fly in that wind. It's far too powerful.
No, that's true, actually.
And plus the fact, if some idiot did take a helicopter up there, you wouldn't just sit stationary in one position. It would be blown all over the bloody place. Yeah.
Well, it's like the diving thing. Anything, I think it's over 100 feet. Anything over 100 feet, police divers are not allowed to dive on. And it's a similar thing with wind and helicopters. You're not allowed to take them up over a certain speed of wind.
Yeah, helicopters are very unstable.
They are.
The way a helicopter flies is it's suspended by its actual axis, which is just below the prop line. When you've got the prop coming out the top, that's its suspension line there. And it's basically hanging on a bit of rope. And that's how a helicopter flies. Yeah. So when you turn, you're just turning the helicopter like that, a bit like a motorbike, and it goes round. So you just tilt the propeller slightly like that, and it will spin. That's why I think it's like 55 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour winds. They can't fly. Plus
they're dependent on the rear rotor, aren't they? They're dependent on the rear rotor to prevent precession. Yeah. And if you've got wind over a certain amount on the back end, you're not going to lose the benefit of the rear rotor.
Yeah. And it's just going to spin round because it's on that axis. It's just spinning round. So that rear rotor is keeping it on its trajectory. If you've got a wind over 55, 60 mile an hour, that rear rotor, as you say, it's just going to start spinning in the whirlpool. Yeah. And then the rotor is a rotor, it's turning. So once it turns with the wind, you've lost it. Once you've lost the helicopter, it's very hard to gain it back. Very hard to gain it back.
Whilst we're on the subject of UFOs, have you heard about all the sightings in Peru at the moment? In the past 3 years, I think, that's been quite kept hush-hush.
They've been all over the world, Shane, and it's all hush-hushed again, mate. I think there's a few reasons for it. Personally, the first one is if the average person knew on the street that they were indeed here and they were flying, then we'd be mass panic because the human mind can't handle it. Secondly, I think, there's so many different types of craft, japes and whatever, and there's about 12 different types of alien recognized now, actually recognized as being spotted on Earth. They must be coming from different planets. But so I think we also got I think that we've got tourists coming and going, look how primitive they are, they still kill each other, that sort of thing. And I think thirdly, a lot of the stuff is actually our own technology. I think a lot of it comes from us. And the reason I think that is, one, you wouldn't release everything to your enemy. As soon as you released it to your public, you've indeed done just that. You've released it to your enemy. So you can't just release it, can you? Secondly, if you want to test out your own top military tech, what's the best place and the best thing to test it against? Well, that's quite simple. Your next in line highest military tech around the world. So when these naval officers and ships and whatever and helicopter pilots and jet pilots see these UFOs or UAPs as they're now known, I think we're testing them out against our own military tech. You know, right, let's put this new top of the range, state of the art against the whole of the US Navy, and see how it fares. Yeah.
Well, you know my thoughts on it all, because I'm I'm a Christian. I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Book of Enoch, where it says about the fallen angels, which are aliens. Yeah. The way I think of it, these aliens are demonic. They are from the fallen angels. And they've given us technology. It says in the Bible, they've given us technology thousands of years ago, how to make weapons, how to do this. And this is where they're getting it from, the Egyptians, because of the fallen angels were teaching humanity about, it says all this in the Book of Enoch. So, I mean, it's just an amazing book.
I mean, I never go into religion too deep, mate. Because
it's not a religion. It's not religion. Christianity is not religion.
No. It's seen as, and I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to disagree with you. The reason I don't is it's like politics, yeah. If you turn around and say, "Well, I think they should get in," and somebody goes, "Oh, I think Conservatives are doing great," and the others go, "Well, we want the Green Party because we want to stop all the oil on the planet," you've suddenly got.
I understand.
You know what I mean, mate? So
yes, listen a second. I know that, but what I'm saying is, I like to research, and if it states in an Old Testament or in the New Testament or in the Quran or something like that, I want to stick my head into it and find out more. So,
I agree.
Do you see what I'm saying? So, by reading the Bible, it's opened my eyes up to so much more. That's what I'm saying.
I can agree with you on that, mate. There's a lot of things that are foresaid in the Bible. And I also believe that there's a lot of things that have already happened that have been noted in the Bible as well. You know, I think man's lived here before, and he's destroyed himself before, and I think he's going to destroy himself again. There's also an interesting study that was done on, it wasn't that too many hundreds of years ago, Neanderthalic age and whatever. Where they found different species of Neanderthal in isolated areas of the globe. Now, each one differed slightly, and they all came around the same time. They were all placed there, it seems, at the same time, and they all went extinct around about the same time. Yeah, and because of their remoteness from being passed by divided by water, and they did never know about each other's existence. It was almost like somebody had put each one of the 7 species there to see which one would develop in different ways. Yeah, and then when they'd done their experiments, they removed them. And we know they're there, or they were there, because we found their skeletons and the remnants of what they manufactured or whatever in all different ways. Now, some of these things, I mean, you can trace certain bloodlines back, right, to the pyramids, 1500 BC, yeah, but you can't trace them back any further. I forget what strain it is, but that is the strain which scientists say without shadow of a doubt was introduced by an alien strain. Right? There's no other way it could have got into our blood system. Now, these people, coincidentally, are the highest abductees on Earth going. Yeah. So you know that's 1500 BC. Yeah. I just say I don't get into. I believe in something that's huge, and I know through the world.
And Darren, sorry to interrupt there, mate. It's kind of to have that open mind and go like anything. It could be this, it could be that, is probably one of the best minds you can have. And I think having that, yeah, and I think having kind of the really kind of, it could be this, it could be that, we could change it to kind of and to kind of open all possibilities and kind of do that. Not everything is related to cryptids, or it could simply be, if I heard a knock at the door, it could simply be something falling, it as in that's just an example, and kind of just ruling out stuff that is kind of, that could be turned into something that could be human or something.
You're getting there, mate. You're getting there. You are. I mean, we had a chat about this morning, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And about the open minds and things like that. And here's one. Oh, it's Jackie's on. Jackie's on.
Hey, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
Yeah, she is.
But you can also remember that's what makes us different from each other.
There you go.
We make ourselves unique, don't we? We're different. None of us are ever the same because we think different, we act differently, we process different things in a different way. That's what makes us different.
The thing is, with mitochondrial DNA, that's female only. It's only passed on by the female. You can actually count backwards how many generations there have been in a particular line. And it was found that there was a period of about 10,000 years where all humans were females. And the only way that could possibly happen is if they were being reproduced in a laboratory. No males on the planet at all, just females.
What years were they?
Oh, I'm not sure how long ago it was, but it lasted for about 10,000 years.
It's just in case I ever inherit a time machine, and I know what dates.
Can you imagine a whole planet full of women drivers?
I probably won't be much use to them, but I'll have a damn good go.
well, I will say, Darren. Go on.
Darren as a woman, though. Come on.
No.
Well, I can say, Darren, I saw you on a video probably 3 days ago where you had hair, and I went, okay.
Did he have his dress on?
Well, I went, it doesn't look like you, and now picturing, yeah, that's right, and picturing you with long hair, and no, I just can't even begin to kind of think about that. No, just no.
Yeah.
He does go it long sometimes, don't you, Darren?
Yeah, I had it long up, not until long ago. Yeah, but I just get fed up washing it.
Well, I often think your fringe has dropped down to your eyebrows. Your hair's that long.
Actually, do you know what? The other day, I undid my trousers and I found my fringe.
Did you? You mislaid it then. Or did you have your trousers on the wrong way round?
It's still blonde.
You had your trousers the wrong way round. We know. Darren, you do know the flies and the belt go at the front, don't you? Not at the back.
Yeah. Did you hear about this? You see, this is a joke I can't tell anymore because it's probably racial, but there you go. Don't say it. There's this Irishman goes on holiday, right, to Spain, yeah? And he goes out single and he wants to meet some girls, yeah. Anyway, he sees this Italian there, and this Italian bloke, he's with girls every day, every week, and whatever, stunners, yeah. And he sees this go on for the first week, so he goes over to the Italian guy. He went, "Look, I'm out here." He went, "I'm, not just similar age group, but he says you've got a girl every day, every night." He says, "Oh, what you do is you get a potato and you put it down your swimming trunks. And when you're around the pool, yeah, you know, you go see the potato bulging out of your swimming trunks, and they go, oh. He went, thank you so much. He said, I'm going to try that. Anyway, the following week, he does that, and he's got girls, and he's walking up to them, and they're going, oh, God, and they're walking away from him. They're like, anyway, the end of the second week, he's gone up to this Italian. He went, you lied to me. He says, what do you mean? He said, well, I've got the biggest potato I could find, put it down my shorts, he said, and women are turning their nose up at me. He went, you're supposed to put it at the front, not the back.
That's not going to end well, is it, that one?
Okay. And let's end it there, Darren. End the live there, because that's gone way too far.
Hang on,
That's becoming very dangerous.
I had a really good one yesterday.
Could I ask a question first time? You are more than welcome, Facebook users. Could you do me a favour, just on your question, fire ahead to the team, please feel free. There is no silly question as well, so whatever it is, please feel free to ask it in your own words. Could you just put your name on it? Yeah, so we're not.
Yeah, who is it?
We're not, because all it comes up is Facebook user, and so please fire ahead with the question. Please fire ahead with the question.
Is it Jackie?
It might
be. First time viewer. Jackie's been on
This is first time viewer.
Oh,
yeah.
That's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Welcome as well, because we're always welcome new viewers.
It could be the police looking at Darren's joke about the potato.
No, it's
not her.
No, it's not Jackie.
I was trying to figure out what non-its meant. No nits.
No nits.
Well, yeah, no nits.
That's Roman.
If you die young and partner dies, say 40 years later, when you're reunited, that's quite a touching question. It is a touching question.
If you die young and your partner dies at 40 years later, when you're reunited, what age are you both?
Oh, Paul, I'm going to let you
I think it's the age of when you die.
Yeah,
I think once you die, you don't move on, do you? You don't get older.
No,
so
I
think spirit age.
Yeah. Sorry, John?
I think that by the time one is in the next life, Earth time is irrelevant.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I think
I know the name.
The day you die, you pass over, like Julia's saying, is the time that you will meet at that age.
What about children that die and grow in spirit?
Yeah, about children that die and grow in spirit.
Well, I've got my own idea, and my idea to this question, I'm not answering for the children. As you know, it's something I'm not always over keen on anyway, when we find children in places. You know how I think everybody has in their own mind. I mean, I'm 50 now and I'm disabled, you know, I've got walking difficulties, I can't run. And
you're clapping to that, Daniel, are you?
No. I was clapping to his 50.
Daniel, that was very hard.
It was hard.
Oh my God, Daniel. That's very harsh.
Some people mock you for it. Anyway, I'm telling your dad. No, I in my mind, I still see myself as in my 30s. I can remember I was still pretty fit. I could climb up mountains, hills with little effort. I could still run. I could still swim hard, toss children in the pool and lifeguards with them. And I think we all have that sort of perception in our mind. I mean, Paul, I'm sure you don't feel like you've had what you've had this year.
Yeah.
you know, you don't feel the age you are. Yeah.
No, no.
When you're driving down the road or riding a bike, you've got an age in your mind and an image of what you look like, which is completely incomparable with what you are now, the same as myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're an adult and you pass, you can revert back to that age. I went back to see my mum and my dad. Now, this is strange because as sensitive or whatever you are, people that have lost a loved one often turn around to me and they say, I wish I were like you so I could still talk to my mum or my loved one or my dad or whatever. It doesn't work like that. I do not know why. Jen will tell you. It's like you've got a link with other people, but you've still got the link with them, but it's not like you have with others. It's weird. I can't explain. Anyway, I went back and it's confirmed through some of the actions and whatever. And I went back and I walked up a road, a quiet street. There was bungalows. My mum loved bungalows. And I walked up to this house which had flowers outside, petunias, pansies. There wasn't any busy lizzies. Mum wouldn't have them because of the fly. There was a couple of roses that she liked, the colours and so forth. And I got to the door of the bungalow, and I know that the dining room window was to the right, and then there was a little recess here, and the kitchen window was there. And I looked through the kitchen window, and Dad was standing there, and he was smiling at me. And I walked back to the door, and he came in and he said, all right, Guy, he says, come on in. And I was like so excited to see him. And he let me hug him, but he wasn't like he hadn't seen me for a long time. He was like, you better come in and sit down. Yeah. I said, okay. Anyway, Mum was through this room. She had a dressing table. She looked younger. So did he. They looked younger. I mean, this, I can go on for the next 10 hours and describe everything. I'm not. But anyway, it wasn't like a dream. If anybody's ever had an experience like this, they'll know what I'm on about. Anyway, I went through down a level. And there was lovely patio doors with white curtains and a lovely wooden table with, I think there's 5 seats around it, one on the end and the other 4 on. And I could draw a picture of this table if you want me to. It's so vivid. Beautiful carpet. Just the way my mum would have had it. Bless her soul, she was so house proud. Anyway, he sat me down. He said, I went, all right, Mum, as I walked through. She went, I'll be through in a minute. Take a seat with Dad. I went, all right, Mum, no worries. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to see you. Well, you're not stopping long, but anyway, I've sat down at this table and I went, Dad, what's up? He says, your mum needs you. Now, those that know me know I was brought up by my grandparents. I don't tell this story to many, by the way, but I'm telling it to the world now because I think it's fair. Anyway, I was brought up by my grandparents, and my mum died when they stole mum and dad to me because they brought me up. It's not the person that plants the seed; it's the person that waters it, prunes it into a lovely bush. I didn't turn out into such a lovely bush, but I'm a bush.
Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyway, I'm sat down, and my real mum is still alive. She's 74 years of age. She lives in Scotland now. At this time, until I was 19 when Dad died, there's 3 years between them, and 11 days. I believe my mum was my sister. And it wasn't until Mum and Dad died, after Mum, that I found out that Val was my mum, and my real dad is Australian. And we don't talk. We did for a bit, but we don't talk. That's how I ended up in Scotland, because Val, my mum, Val, moved to Scotland a few years previous. We never really got on. I thought it would change things. I moved up there, lost absolutely bloody everything, including my dignity, the lot, to be honest. And happy old days of stress broke out there and then. And I've never been the same again, never. But there you go. And suddenly it was like, anyway. So I managed to get out of the country of Scotland, and I got into Aberdeen, and I got into sales, and I managed to escape the country life. But it took me about 3.5, 4 years of pretty bad times, pretty really horrible times. Anyway, nobody down here had met, obviously, my mum and dad, or Val, my mum. Anyway, this is when I first met Angela. 11, just under 11 years ago now. This would have happened, and I didn't have a picture. I didn't have anything, so forth. Anyway, I'm in this house with Mum and Dad. Mum has come to the table. She's got her makeup on, just as Mum would have been. She was very housebound, very proper lady. She wouldn't go out without having her hair done, rollers, and makeup, and dressed immaculately. And you can tell it was very emotional, very.
You seem it now, Darren.
I can feel it, Daniel. I can feel it, mate. And anyway, he said, your mum needs you. Now, myself and my dad was the hardest one in the family. Yeah, he was the nicest bloke in the family, but he was the hardest bloke. If there's any trouble to be sorted out, he sorted it out. And he brought me up exactly the same, not to be scared of anybody. He basically said to me, he said, she needs you. I said, she doesn't need me, Dad. I said, we parted years ago. He said, I know you did, but she needs you now. She's in trouble. I'm like, what trouble? And Mum came through. She went, there's a man. And I went, what? Oh, it's to do with your sister, Paula. I've got half sister, Paula. If you have a look on YouTube, she calls us on Facebook. She calls herself Paula Booth. Doesn't talk to me. She's one of my friends on my Facebook. Doesn't talk to me. Follows me. Yeah. Anyway, it's just a bloody shame. Anyway, he said, right. He says, this man, his name is John. Your sister's living with him. He told me about the gate and how there'd been something thrown at the gate, and how the police had been up, and how he threatened Val, and he was a big bloke, and how old he was, and what he looked like, what my sister had said to her, and how the layout of the house was. Now, I didn't know Val had moved. I didn't know where the hell she was. I hadn't spoken to her 10 years, something like that. The previous time I'd been working, I was in Birmingham. I said to her, she rang me up, or no, I rang her. She went, oh, where are you? I said, oh, I'm in Redditch. She went, oh, right, what are you doing? I said, I'm running a telesales team. I've got 35 people underneath me. I've got 3 managers underneath me. I said, I'm doing so many bookings a week. I'm heading the company. I was top manager in the group this year. I'm not really bothered. I went, what, you're not bothered knowing that your son's doing well? No, couldn't care less. I said, so you're not really bothered talking to me? She went, no, not really. So I said, I won't bother ringing you again. And I didn't for about 9-10 years. Until this moment, and I'm suddenly sat in this living room with Mum and Dad, and they're saying, look, you're going to get a phone call, and it's going to be Amy. And I'm like, Amy? She went, Amy Murray. Amy Murray was in the same boat as me, living up there, English. And we were best friends. Nothing between us. We were just best friends and whatever, mucked about and whatever. And haven't spoken to her for bloody ages. Amy Murray's on my Facebook. You can message her and still verify this. Anyway, I woke up in the morning and I said to Angela, I said, there was a lot more about the house and things like that, but I won't go into it now, far too long. I said to Angela, I said, I went to see Mum and Dad last night, didn't I? I said, I went to see Mum and Dad. I was crying and it's like, all right, went downstairs, had a cup of coffee, and I said, look, there's this supposedly this man called John Booth, and he's out with my sister and he's threatened my mother, and the police have been involved and he won't stop. And she's living on a hill now. And I'm like near the Glen Barry and stuff like that. And I can see the house, I can see the gate. Anyway, the following day or the following evening, my phone has rung. And I've gone, hello? I've gone, Darren? She says, yeah. She went, how are you? I went, who the hell is this? She went, it's Amy. I went, Amy Murray? She says, yes. She went, you must remember me. I said, well, yeah, I do. She says, Darren, it's your mum.
I'm so sorry, Darren. Do you just want to read the comments a minute, please?
Yep.
Bottom one.
Yep. That's all.
The Facebook user that asked the question.
Well,
yeah.
Getting to my shortcuts on here, mate, is not easy. Yeah, anyway, I basically described everything everything
it's on your group, Darren, if you're looking.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Seems a bit rude to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like it,
seems a bit rude and insensitive to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I
mean,
picked.
Yeah.
Darren, no.
Why don't you just leave us and just stay away from the channel? Simple as, yeah. And that would be absolutely superb. Thank you. You know, you do get people like that, you know, unfortunately have yeah. I think we probably know who it is anyway.
I know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think we know who that is. It's some yeah.
I just posted it in the chat, as in the private chat.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I've got loads of really nice messages coming up here. I've been leaving these out because I was talking about something. Hey, prospecting. This, yeah.
I've even had a nice comment being sent to me, Darren.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Well, I basically describe everything as night, mates, in the morning. Yeah. Do you reckon that is who we think it is, Julia?
I don't know.
And another comment's now on there.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that person is. Sorry.
I posted it in the private chat, guys. Have a look.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because
we'll just do
suspension for that. I would say.
Shall I tell you my joke now to cheer you up?
Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I'm so sorry, V. Darren, you need to do something about this guy because he's now swearing.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Oh, well.
We just need to get that guy off.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. I mean, let him absolutely go. Yeah. You know, he's more than welcome. More than welcome to. You know, I mean, if that's what the Narrow Mind is, yeah.
Did he
Can you
ask a
not?
question then?
Can you not turn off the anonymization of
and
comments?
then
Yeah.
the
This is as
The-
far as this mind
and
goes. Yeah.
there's
Is
another one.
intelligence. Yeah. Why
Just
don't
got
you?
you boring twat.
Yeah.
My battery's just about to die.
I find it quite funny that these people manage to do their own shoelaces up in the morning. Yeah.
Darren, just end the live.
Yeah, I would, mate.
Very best.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
need, you don't need any of this on here.
My joke.
No.
We don't need
Yeah.
any of this on there. Just end the live, Darren.
Well, it's that. I'll
Just let
just
them
do
mum
this.
it, whoever it is.
I know exactly who it is. And he's. I'm not going to say it out loud though.
Okay.
You can say it if you find the private chat.
Well, he's now been suspended.
Did you see that comment? Because I'm.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Thank you.
I gotta leave, lads, because
Alright, bye, Shane.
Bye, Shane.
my battery's just about to die.
Okay, mate.
See you later, Shane. Take care.
Bye, Shane.
See you later.
Thanks for coming, mate.
Bye.
The other one.
Yeah.
The other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's directed at this young girl here, which I'm not having, so I've suspended him. 28 days.
I would ban him if I was you.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you will be back.
End the live. Just end the live.
Yeah.
You don't need comments like that on here.
Why should you give
No.
them
Get out.
Why do you about defending it? You know, they're making themselves look an idiot, which they clearly are. So let's just carry on. Carry on.
Yeah.
He's in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just doing it now.
Well, also.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do
suspension, mate.
Comments anyway, Darren.
Well, you see, people like that, yeah.
They're jealous. They're just jealous. They're just jealous of how great this thing is.
So, yeah.
Can I just say to Prospecting USA Hunting, thank you and good night to you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Sorry, Prospecting USA. That's much appreciated coming on. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for joining us.
I apologise for that guy.
I think
it might not be anything to do with you. It might be to do with one of us.
Yeah.
It might be something else.
I thought that.
You know,
Simon.
why give you a satisfaction of ending something that we're enjoying just because someone decides to put up a few comments. So, you know, and it could be someone completely different. So just carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on.
That's right.
Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, first time viewer. Welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, first time
It's
viewer.
so kind of you to come on. Thank you so much. I think, you know, unfortunately you get these groups, and because you're doing better than they are, they tend to that's Lauren Rosanna. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you so much for joining us. And Graham, say goodbye as well.
See you later, Graham. Thank you for coming on.
Thumbs up.
Also,
I've
Gemma's been
removed
watching
all
as well. I've had a message from Gemma.
Yeah.
She's been watching as well for over an hour or so.
Oh, right, okay.
Can I also say thank you to Harlem as well, and Bill possibly, because I think they've both been watching. And also thank you to Ian 14 who's watching from my side. Yeah, I think that's
right. We're going to stay on for 5 minutes anyway, but I'm going to end the live now. Thanks ever so much for everybody that's listened. and
Joined in
really,
with that.
really
Good.
appreciated. Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you nice people next week, and we sooner or later you're going to get a keyboard bully come on. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
we've done 12 months without it, Paul, haven't we? You know.
yeah, we've done well.
So
We've done well.
yeah.
But at the end of the day,
So
karma gets everybody in the end, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
absolutely, yeah. And yeah, if it is, I've got his address as well. So anyway,
You can
Well,
go and wee
that's it.